Thanks for tuning in to Jamaica Magazine. It's another Thursday, which means the week is winding down. I'm Adrian Atkinson, and welcome to the program. Today we stop by the Jamaica Deposit Insurance Corporation to find out the coverage it offers on our savings. Plus, tell you about the training app for operators of public passenger vehicles and to take you on an operation of the Joint Anti-Gang Task Force. Stay with us.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, February 17, 2022. The country's economic growth trajectory continued to climb in the October to December quarter of 2021 with an estimated 6% increase. This represents 3 consecutive quarters of positive outturn for 2021, with the calendar year finishing with overall estimated growth of 4.4%. The Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ, released the figures during its media briefing yesterday. Factors contributing to the last quarter's growth include the continued relaxation of COVID-19 containment measures globally, increased operating hours for businesses, higher levels of employment, and improved business and consumer confidence. Both the goods-producing and services industries recorded growth. The high-performing sectors were hotels and restaurants, agriculture, forestry and fishing, other services, and wholesale and retail. PIOJ's Director General, Dr. Wayne Henry, says that with further relaxation of the COVID-19 measures, the recovery or expansion of economic activities in most industries will continue.
Within this context, economic growth is anticipated for the remainder of this fiscal year. For January to March 2022, it is projected that the economy will grow within a range of 5% to 7%, resulting in a fiscal year growth that is April 2021 to March 2022 in the range of 7% to 9%. For fiscal year 2022-23, the projection is for growth within the range of 3% to 6%.
The PIOJ is projecting that the economy will achieve pre-COVID-19 levels of output in the 2023-2024 financial year. Meanwhile, government remains resolute on increasing the number of units available to Jamaicans through the new social housing program. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the program will be expanded to provide more houses to Jamaicans in need with the aim of transforming their lives. He was speaking at the official handover ceremony for a 3-bedroom unit in Donmere Close in St. Andrew North Central yesterday. It was constructed at a cost of $6 million.
Once I'm satisfied that we have everything in place from the administration, from the monitoring and accounting, the architecture and engineering, and the financing, then we will start to scale up. Right now, we intend to complete 122 such housing solutions we're going to be building in this phase. But in the next budget, we're going to seek to double that. And as we expand, we will be able to reach far more Jamaicans.
Prime Minister Holness says his appeal for members of the private sector to partner with and support the government through this initiative is bearing fruit.
Already, we have seen a few companies reach out to say, we would like to help, because this is, at the core of it, this is about giving hope to people in despair. It is about saying to people who live in communities like these that you are not forgotten, that you too deserve proper housing, and that the government is allocating out of its budget resources to deal with the worst of the worst situations.
The Prime Minister is reminding recipients of the new housing solutions that occupants must be model citizens in their communities and ambassadors for the Housing Opportunity Production and Employment Hope Program. Total capital investment of over $200 million will be spent on improving the island's major international airports over the period 2022 to 2025. Transport Minister Audley Shaw says this investment will come from the Airports Authority of Jamaica, MBJ Airports Limited, and PAC Kingston Airports Limited, which operates the Norman Manley International Airport. $70 million of that amount is slated to be spent in the 2022-2023 financial year. Minister Shaw was addressing a recent contract signing and tour of the Sangster International Airport. Chairman of the Crime Monitoring Oversight Committee, CMOC, Lloyd Distant, is calling on every Jamaican to get in the fight against crime. He was speaking at a recent JIS think tank to outline the CMOC's plans for monitoring the reduction of crime and violence.
I was in a community yesterday, and the JCF's Community Security and Safety Branch turned up. It was a pretty large community gathering. They had been looking to establish a youth club. And there are probably about 200 youths around, and it provided a great opportunity for them to interact with the JCF at that time. Those are the kinds of things, the youth gathering together instead of getting involved in criminality, doing things which are constructive and building an engagement amongst each other.
Mr. Distant says under the social community and cultural transformation pillar of CMOC, the entity wants to see a sustained change in the fabric of society. Executive Director of the CMOC, Lieutenant Colonel Oral Khan, adds that the committee also wants to see the removal of profit from crime.
We are doing some investments in the police which will make it more difficult for criminals, the activities of criminals to escape detection. We are hoping that the citizenry will see what is happening and will come on board with information to speed up the pace at which persons who offend can be detected, caught, and brought before the courts.
And finally, more students are to receive tablet computers courtesy of a donation from members of the Jamaican diaspora in Canada. The donation of 50 tablets is being supported by the High Commissioner in Ontario, Jamaica's Consulate General in Toronto, Food for the Poor Canada, Alliance of Jamaican Alumni Associations, Diaspora Associations across Canada, and Jamaicans and Friends of Jamaica. They were handed over earlier this week to the National Education Trust, which is receiving 30 of the tablets for distribution, while the other 20 have already been allocated to Food for the Poor Jamaica to give needy students. The donation is in support of the Education Ministry's One Laptop or Tablet per Child initiative and was facilitated by the Foreign Affairs Ministry.
Over the years, many Jamaicans have benefited individually or as a community from the philanthropic endeavors of the diaspora, including in the field of education. I am pleased that today, thanks to partnership with a number of key stakeholders, including the Jamaican diaspora in Canada, we are able to hand over 50 tablets to this initiative.
We will just continue as long as we can to ensure that these efforts continue and that all our students are equipped with devices, that they have proper connectivity, and that they have access to the educational programs on those devices as they should.
And that's it for JIS News today. Thank you for watching. I'm Theodore Henry.
What a way you're full of our roots and culture. That was in Jamaica 60. Jamaica 60? What a piece of news, Miss Matty. I feel like my heart going bust up.
Just in, the island of Jamaica is on the verge of celebrating its 60th year of independence.
I only we have to celebrate it now. They say the people them, you know, them come here, you know. But you see, when our people decide, say the other people them free paper, them say if it's war, start it, whatever. We all collect medal panta for it, you know.
Medal.
Amount of tongue we give them,
The celebrations are slated to begin on January 1st, 2022. Organized by the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. We have more in this report.
I am on site and planning activities are ablaze. Persons are advised to download the Reggae Jamaica app. to know what it pre. Why pre? Activities for the Jamaica 60 celebration. Yeah. I don't know the app to get the updates then.
Another armory has been added to the Jamaica Constabulary Force's crime-fighting strategy. A joint police-military team has been formed to get the illegal guns and dismantle criminal networks. Here's an outlook for the team.
What you're seeing, or what I'm going to introduce, which is the Joint Anti-Gang Task Force, is all about continuing our focus on guns, gunmen, and gangs. And it was important, and we saw as part of our strategic focus and strategies that we had developed and planning that we had done, that we required an agile joint force that could deal with the levels of violence that we see here in Jamaica.
The JDF has been committed, intentional and strategic about the support we provide to the JCF as we work to reverse the norm of gunmen being comfortable in any space.
It is not bound by any particular geographic space, but will move fluidly across the country to interrupt gang activities, to disrupt and deter those, to recover firearms or seize firearms, and also to focus on those people who are intent on creating death, mayhem, and pain in our society.
The JDF will bring dynamic and flexible military expertise to this task force, ensuring joint intelligence and the securing of the spaces in which we engage. This will allow the JCF to focus on the pursuit of gangs and the apprehension of their members who terrorize communities.
The task force has been in operation now for a week, and over that week we have seized 7 illegal firearms, 1,200 pounds of compressed ganja. We have disrupted an illegal alcohol operation that was funding a particular gang, and we have arrested 4 persons for lottery scamming and another 16 of them to make a total of 20 persons who are involved in violence and crime. Now, the way the Joint Task Force works, none of these were achieved only by themselves. We work with the Lotto Scam Task Force, we work with CTOC, we work with territorial police, the police in the various divisions and areas. And it gives them, each one of these, far more capacity when they need it to deal with situations that can become or are highly violent. We have recruited some 70 plus persons, young Jamaicans, who had gone through the Jamaica National Service Corps program. They trained for a year or so as soldiers, and then we recruited them and ran them through the entire police training program. So these are qualified soldiers, qualified police officers, and they make up part of the task force and are familiar and comfortable in both the military environment and the policing environment. And that's part of creating the synergies to work more effectively as a joint group.
Through this joint initiative with the JCF, you can trust that this is our intention to create a safer Jamaica.
So we are creating the conditions, and this is part of our ongoing transformation, modernization, and responses to a situation that has plagued us for over 2 decades, and we're determined that we're not going into a 3rd decade with it as it is. And as part of that, we require and would ask for public support and public confidence.
I want Jamaica to focus on collaboration that is required to reap tangible results. Please work with this anti-gang task force. We want to protect you. We want to protect Jamaica for a safer and secure future.
I've made my tree legacy from the primary level all the way to university. You can get involved too. Plant a tree today and keep climate change away.
Register your alma mater for the Forestry Department's My Tree Legacy promotion and be a part of the preservation of Jamaica land we love. Let us highlight your contribution. Submit videos or pictures of you leaving your mark. Every tree counts. Plant a tree today and keep climate change away.
The Ministry of Transport has been applying calculated methods to revolutionize and regulate the sector to ensure a safer environment for all. This includes the use of technology to train operators of public passenger vehicles on safe road usage. Take a look.
Innovations in transportation technology are at an unparalleled high, with creative solutions being crafted to help us get from one point to the next, but using efficiency, ease, and safety for propulsion. These transportation technologies are ranging from autonomous vehicles to a switch from gas gulping to electric cars, or using technologies such as artificial intelligence, augmented reality, and mobile apps to enhance the driver's experience. Here in Jamaica, as we push to join in on this global move, we've launched our very own online training app for public passenger vehicle or PPV operators, dubbed the Tappv Train app.
Edifocal has partnered with the Transport Authority and BCIC to create the Tappv Train learning app. Now, what this does is it came as a direct response to the COVID pandemic, because before, the PPV operators were accustomed to doing their classes in a face-to-face setting. So there was a direct need now to bring the training to them virtually. And so that is where this whole partnership came into being, where we created the content, put it in a virtual format, also put it on the platform so that it would be readily available to the PPV operators for them to be able to, continue upskilling and reskilling.
The app is being used to facilitate PPV drivers training in the use of the road code, defensive driving, and customer service by way of a gamified format. But the features are far more futuristic and trailblazing.
We took a simple, sophisticated approach when designing this app. We wanted to make sure that everything that they need is available to them. So it would be as simple as them just logging in to the portal. They just log on to the app domain, tappvtrain.com. They'll be prompted to enter their username, which is their TRN, and their password would be the receipt number that they'd get from Transport Authority. So when they pay for the course, they go to Transport Authority and pay for the course, they'd receive a receipt number that would serve as their password or their access pass to the app. Once they log in, all the courses are there. It's a series of 4 courses spanning delivering quality customer service, maintaining professionalism, defensive driving, and there's also a module there that seeks to inform them about the roles and the functions of the Transport Authority.
And here's possibly the best part for PPV drivers using this app. It's completely zero rated.
So what that means is on all mobile networks, whichever mobile network you receive service from, you'd be able to access the platform without even having data on your phone, without even having to have service on your phone. So, I mean, that is one of the things that makes this app so revolutionary in terms of it being fully accessible, because we have to consider persons living in areas where there might be challenges accessing internet, and we want to make sure that everybody gets a fair chance to be able to access the information.
And the security plan for your data was a strategically thought out one.
The data is stored on our servers that are encrypted, and we have taken stringent cyber protection and privacy measures to ensure that we have secured ourselves and secured our users' data from any potential attack.
Engagement has been hitting an all-time high, with more and more PPV drivers signing on to this revolutionary idea.
Prior to launch, we had a beta test control group who viewed the content, and the feedback was really overwhelming and great. So what is happening now is we are in the process of onboarding a little bit over 2,000 PPV operators now to serve as our first cohorts.
This $13 million game changer for our transportation industry represents the Ministry of Transport's push to use technology to improve and strengthen its operations. By March of this year, all drivers and conductors will be able to fully unlock its functions right from their iOS and Android-powered devices.
I really hope that those who are listening to my voice will take an introspection of themselves and check out how they have been operating the motorcycle. Are you operating with a helmet, an elbow pad, a knee pad, a jacket, a shoulder pad? Are you wearing shoes instead of slippers? Have you removed the mirrors from the motorcycles? Obedience better than sacrifice. Do the right thing. Are you going to ensure that you buckle up in the motor vehicle and the persons in the motor vehicle behind your back, your passengers, are they buckled up? Are you going to ensure that? Are you going to give yourself adequate time to reach your destination so that you don't have to be in any haste, so that you don't help to clog up the health sector? Nobody should be going to the hospitals because of traffic crashes. Nobody. They are preventable, they are avoidable. We can make better choice than that.
We'll have a chat now with the Jamaica Deposit Insurance Corporation to learn more about the protection it offers on our monies in deposit-taking institutions.
Have you ever wondered if the money in your bank account is secure? The Jamaica Deposit Insurance Corporation, JDIC, offers protection or coverage against your money through deposit-taking institutions that are regulated and supervised by the Bank of Jamaica through 5 account ownership categories: individual, joint, trust, business, and nominee accounts. Welcome to Finance Matters. I'm Daniel Pasley. And today I'll be speaking with Ms. Peter Gay Coombs, Public Relations Officer of the Jamaica Deposit Insurance Corporation, about the deposit insurance coverage that you have access to by just having a bank account. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow the Ministry of Finance on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to see all the episodes and highlights. Thank you, Ms. Coombs, for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me, Daniel.
Now, what is the role of the Jamaica Deposit Insurance Corporation?
Well, Daniel, the Jamaica Deposit Insurance Corporation, JDIC for short, was established in 1998 following the financial crisis of the mid-1990s. Now, the purpose of the corporation is to provide what is called deposit insurance. And what deposit insurance does is ensure that any monies that you have in deposit accounts in commercial banks, billing societies, and merchant banks, you are guaranteed to get those monies back. However, up to a maximum of $1.2 million if your financial institution should crash or fail. Another key role of the JDIC is to manage what is called the Deposit Insurance Fund. And essentially what the Deposit Insurance Fund is the vehicle which the corporation keeps the premiums that are paid by the member institutions of the deposit insurance scheme, so that you will be able to get your money back if anything happens to your financial institution.
And when we speak about the member institutions, who are we talking about really?
Okay, so member institutions of the deposit insurance schemes are essentially financial institutions that are licensed and regulated by the Bank of Jamaica and hence mandated to become members of the deposit insurance scheme. And these are commercial banks, and that is every single commercial bank that is licensed for operation in Jamaica, as well as building societies and the single merchant bank that we have still in existence, making that a total of 11 member institutions of the deposit insurance scheme.
Now, what was the rationale for increasing the limit to $1.2 million?
Okay, that's an excellent question, Daniel. So in August of last year, the JDIC increased the deposit insurance limit twofold from $600,000 to $1.2 million. And that last increase was implemented in 2006. Now, another role of the corporation is to monitor what is called the credibility of the coverage limit. Because as you're aware, from time to time, things change in the financial sector, as well as the economy, and of course, overseas. So the corporation has to monitor all these variables to ensure that the coverage limit remains credible and that the value of the monies that depositors have in their accounts is maintained. So we keep track of things such as the foreign exchange rate, the inflation rate, to ensure that the value of your money is maintained. And that is what we do when we say we protect and guarantee your deposits.
So basically, the JDIC is following international standards then?
Certainly, and these international standards are set by the International Deposit Insurance Body that is called IADI, which is the International Deposit Insurance Association, and the JDIC is also a founding member of that association.
How can we find out some more information about JDIC?
Well, Daniel, the JDIC keeps up with the times, and you can definitely keep up with us and the information that we're putting out so that every single Jamaican can understand what the JDIC does and how deposit insurance benefits you by following us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at JDIC Jam, that's JDIC JAM, and of course on YouTube at Jamaica Deposit.
Thank you, Ms. Coombs, for sharing some pertinent information about the services of the Jamaica Deposit Insurance Corporation.
Thank you, Danielle.
And thank you for joining us on Finance Matters. Remember to follow us on social media at MOF Jamaica, and tune in next week as we continue to demystify the economic and fiscal policies and initiatives implemented by the government to ensure that Jamaicans chart a path to Jamaica's economic prosperity.
This is where our journey ends, but only for today. Do join us again tomorrow when we'll bring another informative program. In the meantime, stay connected via our website, jis.gov.jm. And while you're online, send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm or via tweet at JIS News. You may also find us on all the social media platforms and through our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.